Yo, what is going on? My name is Keith. You're tuned in to Black Quarterback Central. We got a lot of things to talk about. 1 and 2 teams. Jacoby making a reappearance. Is Teddy an elite black quarterback now? I don't even know what to make of the Bears. And just a really, really good episode. Stay tuned, stay locked. As you can see, I'm in a different area. I'll tell you about that later. Let's get into it. Black Quarterback Series. Let's start. My name is Keith. I do Black Quarterback Central, formerly Drop the Guide. We're still doing Drop the Guide. It's just been rebranded. My uncle's working on some things behind the scenes. We're going to get another Drop the Guide channel, so to speak, and get that going in the future. So yeah, let's get into it. So we might as well start with the 1 and 2 teams since they're the theme of this week's episode. So we're going to start with Kansas City, who played the Chargers. And so I've never seen Kansas City get off to a rougher start. They got off to a rougher start. Three drives, 3 turnovers. First 3 drives of the game, and that pretty much set the tone. Yes, the Chiefs did take the lead at one point, but you don't let a team get revved up like that and think you're going to beat them. And the Chiefs, when the Chiefs turn the ball over like that and the defense is so awful, we're talking about a couple year Cowboys awful, and Cowboys have that awful defense, it makes life a lot harder. So it puts too much pressure on the defense, too much pressure on the offense, and now the offense has to take chances, which is why I think Patrick Mahomes' interceptions are up, because they have to take chances. They have to take chances that they normally wouldn't take, and it just wasn't pretty. So Patrick Mahomes was 27 for 44, 260 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. 27 for 44. 260 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. So he wasn't bad, but the interceptions is what killed him. The interceptions are what killed him, and they end up having more turnovers too. So when you turn the ball over like that, you're not going to win. And the Chargers were playing really, really aggressive, and Justin Herbert is. I'm really impressed with what this dude is doing. He only been in the league for 2 seasons, and he looks like a super elite quarterback. Chiefs woke up in the 4th quarter, but the Chargers already had it going. And the Chiefs just didn't look right. Like, if somebody watches this game, they might be like, "Oh my God, what you saying?" They did look fine in the second half and blah blah blah. But even in the Ravens game, they just didn't look all the way together. Patrick Mahomes been looking mad for like the last 2 weeks. So that was that. I think they'll bounce back though. I think they're 1 and 2. They're at the bottom of the division. I think they'll bounce back. I think they'll be fine. Now, moving on to Seattle, I don't know if they're gonna be okay. Seattle reminds me of last year's Carolina Panthers, where Carolina looked so good, but they can only play one half. They either play one really, really good first half or one really, really good second half, but it's never consecutive halves. It's always something. And I don't know what Russell Wilson is doing. He's just falling completely off a cliff in these halves. Like, he'll throw for 200 yards, and like 20 yards, 2 touchdowns, and everything else in these halves. And then the second half, he act like he's Nathan Peterman. So I'm not sure what he's doing in these halves. It's crazy. It's a weird thing. So I'm not sure why or how that this is happening. They look good in the first half, and they just fell off in the second. They were up 17. I don't know what to make of. I don't know what to make of them. I really don't know what to make of them. At all. But the person I do know what to make of is Jacoby Brissett. Now, his numbers won't speak to how well he played. 32 for 49 for 215 yards. Showing up in the clutch and leading the rally back in the game. Ended up losing it overtime, but needless to say, they wouldn't have been in that game if they didn't have Jacoby. 7 carries for 37 yards rushing. And we all know that's not Jacoby's MO. That's not Jacoby's MO at all. Like, he is a standard drop back passer that just so happened to be black. It which means he can move a little bit, you know? So, yeah, I was impressed with Jacoby. I think he should still be starting in Indianapolis. But they wanted to go with our man Carson Wentz. They wanted to go with our man Carson Wentz. So that's on them. That's on them. I think they should have kept Jacoby. But it's a ceiling with Jacoby, yes. But when he played like this, you'd be like, man, I wish I can get that every week. So, with more touchdowns, obviously. But he played well. If he'd have played the whole game like he played that fourth quarter, they probably would have won. So, let's talk about somebody who's winning. Now, I don't want to speak too much on this game because they played the Jets, and the Jets are like a high-level college team. So, Teddy Bridgewater, they completely dominated. 26-0. Red Zone barely even showed the game. I watched the highlights. He was 19 for 25, 235 yards, and they played the Jets. So, easy W. And so, let's get on to this crazy game in Detroit. I know you've probably already seen the 66-yard game winner. Justin Tuck is making a case to be the greatest kicker ever. Now, I still want Adam Vinatieri because I've seen Adam Vinatieri kick in some crazy conditions, but I think my second is Tuck because this dude has made some crazy kicks. 66 yards? 66 yards. That's crazy. That's amazing. It's pretty solid first half. Wasn't much of anything other than Hollywood dropping touchdown passes. The regular ho-hum. They ended up winning, like I said, on the field goal. But it really shouldn't have been that close if Hollywood would have catch Lamar Jackson's passes. So, really solid game. Lamar was 16 for 31, 287 yards, a touchdown, and an interception, and ran for 58 yards on 7 carries. So, pedestrian. Just did what he needed to do to win. It wasn't very pretty, but they got to learn how to close out games like this. And they did it against the Chiefs. Now, I know this is against the Lions, so it's not as big of a profile, but if the offense can score at least 2 touchdowns in the second half, the game's not close. The offense just got stagnant. And Lamar got sacked way more yesterday than I've seen in a while. Not saying that he got sacked so much, but every time I looked up, Lamar was on the ground because he couldn't shake the defenders. So that's all I got for that game. They won. They beat Detroit, another awful team. Shouldn't have took that long to beat them, but it is what it is. We got a great kick and tuck because of it. Normally I'll be getting all giddy and everything as I'm talking about the Cardinals and our guy Kyler Murray. But I'm happy about him. But he didn't play his best game. He didn't have his best stuff. 28 for 34, 316 yards, interception, rushing touchdown. And granted, he didn't pass no touchdowns. But his receivers had good days though. AJ Green, 5 receptions, 112 yards. Christian Kirk, 7 receptions, 104 yards, and James Conner had all the touchdowns with 2. So Jacksonville really played above themselves the first half of the game. They really played above themselves. Now, people will say, "Oh, Jacksonville is talented. They're just young." Blah blah blah. At some point, we got to call Jacksonville what they are. They're a bad football team. So, Jacksonville played above themselves in the first half, and then in the second half, they regressed back to the means. And Kyler Murray got what he got. Kyler Murray's the best player on the field, as always. Conductor of an orchestra is normally what I say. They scored at 2:49. They scored their last points in the third quarter at 2:49. These are talking about Jacksonville. And the next 3 possessions, the Cardinals score. Jacksonville throws a pick because they want to make a flea flicker in 2021. What? Yeah, they called a flea flicker in 2021. And it didn't go well, and Trevor Lawrence threw an interception that led to a touchdown. And then Cardinals scored another touchdown, and at that point it was over. So Jacksonville was their own demise. I don't even know what to make of Jacksonville. Oh, no. So this is what you expect from bad football teams. Urban Meyer might just not be cut out to be an NFL head coach, and that's cool. Nick Saban wasn't cut out to be an NFL coach, and he dominates college, just like Nick Saban dominates college. So it is what it is. It remains to be seen.
Once again, no face cam because my phone decided to die when I was doing the other one. So we got 2 more games, the Monday night game and the last game that I wanted to talk about. So the immortal Mac Jones went up against our guy Jameis Winston, and it was not close for most of the game. It was not close. Now, they scored a touchdown at the end, and if it wasn't for a receiver making a phenomenal play, I'll probably show it if I can. Without the receiver making a phenomenal play, they wouldn't have scored a touchdown. I think the Patriots were outcoached. They were really thoroughly outcoached from this word go, and not the Patriots, and Jameis and the Saints had something to prove. Again, nothing too crazy. Our guy Jameis didn't have great numbers. He was 13 for 21, 128 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and just was nothing crazy. But I will say that Cam could have played better. Cam would have played better. The Patriots are sitting there at 1-2, and they should just easily be 3-0. I feel like if our guy Cam was there, they would have been at least 2-1. So, but they wanted to start their immortal Mac Jones, who hasn't done nothing. Mac Jones was 30 for 51, 270 yards, a touchdown, and 3 interceptions. Them sound like Cam Newton numbers last year to me. And Mac Jones has significantly more talent. So, watching this game was a pleasure. Good job, Saints. And it doesn't get no easier for New England because now they got to face Tom Brady, who's coming back home next week. So I ain't never rooted for Tom Brady ever, but I'll be a Tom Brady fan next week.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? As y'all know, I've had a wild week, so I didn't have a chance to record and do my normal format for Monday Night Football because I was at the J. Cole concert. So I looked at the game when I got off the concert and I studied it, but I didn't get a chance to record the video. So this is gonna be my video right here. You guys not gonna see my face, y'all can hear me. So we got a chance to see what the Eagles were against a good team, because the Eagles hadn't really played any real competition up to this point. They beat Atlanta. I can't remember who they played before, but they haven't really faced anybody. If I'm wrong, I'll put it up on the screen. But so we got a chance to see them against a real team in Dallas. And yeah, it went the way you thought it was. Jalen Hurts still has a lot of way to go, and being a complete quarterback. But that's a good team in Dallas. They actually have a real team this year. So not mad at the loss. Jalen Hurts could have played a lot better. But like somebody said on the telecast, that was Jalen Hurts' only 8th career start. 7th or 8th career start. So I'm not mad at him. I think he'll be good. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I don't know if he's gonna be a consistent starter. My upstairs neighbors just decided to start the shower as I was recording. I don't know if he's going to be a consistent starter, but I'm rooting for him as long as he's a starter. I'll be rooting for him for forever, but I don't know if he's a consistent starter quality, but we shall see. These are his numbers. These are Dak Prescott's numbers. Dak Prescott, if he's going to play like this all year, then he's going to be an MVP consideration. He's going to be worth all the money that they gave him. So I like what I'm seeing about Dak Prescott. I think they're going to run away with this division. So yeah, that's my feelings on Monday Night Football. I was wishing for a better game. We didn't get it. But we get a chance to see them play against each other again, and then we'll have another landmark game for these two. So that's it. That's it for this week's Black Quarterback Series. We'll be back to regular scheduled programs next week, and I'll see y'all next week.